So you think fitness is about calories? You think it's about reps? But what if I told you your body doesn't change because of what you do? It changes because of who you are. Once you understand this, you stop chasing results and you become them. This is Alchemy Fitness. Welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to talk about the quantum physics of fitness. Yes, you heard it first. I was trying to get some shades on so I could put on my Morpheus tone of voice and look, but I don't have any sunglasses. So you just have to look me in my eye in the meantime. So, at the quantum level, everything is energy. You know what I'm saying? So it's not solid, it's not fixed. If you know anything about thermodynamics, just about energy is never created or destroyed. It just transfers, right? So that's what it is. And you have to look at your body as that, just a ball of energy that's moving around. You know what I'm saying? And you can control that. So, it deals with your habits and identity. That's really who you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's not permanent, it's just patterns. You know what I mean? Once you understand patterns, you can predict outcomes. But the beautiful thing about patterns, you can disrupt them or you can change them. They can be rewritten. You know what I'm saying? So that's very powerful in itself. So you're not, yeah, you are your habits, but you can always change it to change your outcome. All right. So I've noticed in studying too, most people have, approach fitness backwards. They say I'll go to the gym, then I'll become disciplined, or I'll wait for this to happen, then I can do this. You know, Before I go any further, there was a time I was doing a temp assignment at some hotel, can't remember, and I was working with the stock, right, stocking the produce and stuff like that. And I remember coming across a young man who was a chef there, and by chance, I can't remember how we end up on conversing, but during our conversation, he said something to me, and I always thought about it. He said, this is not where he wants to end because it wasn't really like a high culinary hotel. They had like pre-made kind of stuff like that, pre-made food. And he said, this is just practicing. He's just practicing basically. He said, but he's not going to wait until he get to that five-star hotel or whatever it may be for him to really show his culinary skills. So he said, what I'm doing now, I'm preparing myself for it. So I'm acting like I'm there already so he can fine tune his skills. And that always stuck out with me. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I think in the book, Psycho-Cybernetics, it talks about that. It's like reverse engineering. So when he fits into that mold or when his opportunity presents himself and he's there, it's a smooth transition because this is who he is. And you can do the same thing with fitness. You know what I'm saying? So as the example goes on, when people are like, oh, I'll go to the gym, then I'll become disciplined. No, you have it backwards. You become disciplined first, then going to the gym is inevitable. You see what I'm saying? So when you deal with quantum physics, there's something called an observer effect. So what you focus on is what you focus on expands. It's like where your attention goes, your energy flows. That kind of sequence or thinking. Right. So if you keep focusing on like I'm overweight, I'm out of shape, I'm trying, you stay locked in that type of reality. It's almost like the Matrix when he talks about there is no spoon. Like it's not the spoon that bend, but it's you. So you're bending reality kind of to your will. So think about it like that. So the moment you shift your identity, when you start to I am, you know what I mean? And that's the power in itself. The power of I am because it's a verb to be. So when you say I am disciplined, I train like a warrior, or like I say, I make jokes with my group. I'm like, oh, I'm an IFBB bro. I don't say pro, I'm like, I'm an IFBB bro, like jokingly. So I don't train that. I train crazy, but just enough. Like, you know what I mean? It's like an inside joke. But you say I take care of my body because of that's who I am. Now your actions have no choice but to align. And I keep mentioning it before with Alchemy Fitness, my brand, it's about alignment, especially for 2026 and beyond. It's about alignment. And you can align yourself too once you understand these principles. You know what I'm saying? So dealing with energy and frequency, they are real things. You know what I mean? So you don't attract the results, you align with them. That's why you always will hear those who talk about it, oh, I think and grow rich. It's not you just sit there and think all day. It's like aligning yourself with that, if that's making sense. You know what I mean? When people try to force themselves to get or to hit their macros or to do this kind of certain objective, it's almost like it's forced. It's not flowing. You know what I mean? So they already have the approach like, no, I am this. This is what I do. It's a part of me. It's a smoother transition part of me. So every version of you already exists. The lean version, the strong, the discipline, all that's already exists is within. You just have to meet it. So the question is, what are you doing to feed it? Which side? Is it your habits, your thoughts, your environment? That's your frequency. And your frequency determines your reality. So if you want to change your reality, change your frequency, and you do that by changing your thoughts. That's how we can like pick up on people too. That's another topic for another day, but just to throw it out there. So be careful what you think. So how do you apply this? That's what you want to know, right? You've been hearing all this shit. Tristan, how you apply it? All right, it's simple, but it's not easy. One, you got to stop negotiating with your lower self because we have two selves, a higher self and lower self, right? The voice that's telling you to skip the gym, the old version that of you is trying to survive, right? So that's one. Two, you move like the person you're becoming, even if you don't feel like it. Like if you want to be a CEO, find out how CEOs think and start acting like that, right? Be, do, act, right? In the Holy Quran, Allah says when He summons the things, all He says is be and it is, meaning He takes the resources that surround Him and He makes it happen, right? You have the same abilities and capabilities of doing the same, right? And when that is a line that occurs, then you control your focus. One of my favorite movies is John Wick. And in the first one, that's like the best one, of course. But when the guy was telling his son, he said, you know nothing about what John Wick does because he's a man of focus. You see what I'm saying? And once you start controlling your focus, um, you start to like really direct your attention into what you're trying to accomplish. So I'm all about quality and quantity, but more so potency. So when you stop at about hating yourself, you start building what you respect. And also just focus on the positive things as well. Don't care about the poor part. So this is deeper than fitness. It's really about self mastery at the end of the day. But once you realize you can choose your identity, the gym is no longer a chore for you. It becomes your laboratory. I tell all my clients that as well. Like, you're both the marble and the sculptor. You see what I'm saying? And these are the gym equipment are the tools you use to sculpt your body, right? So they would ask me, for example, questions like, which one is better, machines or cables? I mean, machines or free weights? I'm like, use both. Which you can never ask a craftsman which are his best tools. The tools are best the one he's using for right now for the job that is at hand. And you have to have a knowledge on what you're doing and how you're trying to build your body. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you also hear people talking about, oh, I'm going to the lab. What you cooking? I'm cooking a better version of myself. So that's the mentality that you have to approach this with. So you're not really getting into shape, is really a shape in your reality. Or you're transforming your reality, really. And that's where we talk about is from lead to gold. You're taking your base self or your worst self, quote unquote, to a higher version of yourself. And I mentioned that where we are energy, right? And one of the highest forms or conduits of electricity is gold. You see what I'm saying? So it kind of ties in, you know, right? So instead of asking, what I'm working on today, it's who am I becoming? So we just shift our language because our language becomes things, right? Thoughts, language, then things, right? And some of our beliefs as well harden come from how we believe ourselves or how we think about ourselves, right? So once we shift our mindset, so you know what I mean, start shifting your mindset really, and that's how you begin to quantum leap and change your reality, and then you start aligning yourself with the actions that need to be done. All right, you could do it. I mean, it's not as hard as we think. We just have to stop being lazy. And as I'm saying making these videos, it's really for me as well. I'm not exempt, but I just like doing these things and inspiring y'all because it's also me looking into a mirror that I know I can do better as well. So if you feel like your mind shift is shifted from this video, shift your finger to the like button. Subscribe and comment, man. If someone else that needs this, you'll share it with them as well. You know what I'm saying? Because we are all about transformation for our mind, body, and spirit. And you're not building your body, you're also building a frequency. So shout out to my Uncle Ron Will that promotes the body game as well. Because everything that has a physical reality has a metaphysical reality as well. So always think about that as well. All right. So if you're looking for an online program, nutrition training, click the link in the description, reach out to me and see if we can help you. This is Alchemy Fitness signing off, where we transfer you from lead to gold. Train hard, train smart, and train safe. Peace.